Oh my gosh, here we are. Welcome to an episode of Got Shui. I'm Anezka Drajel, and today I have a special guest who is going to be joining me, and I'll let her introduce herself.
My name's Athena Frost, and I am Anezka's daughter.
Yep.
And I was lucky enough to study at the Portland Feng Shui Institute, so I'm excited to come and talk about this Lunar New Year with you all.
Yay. Well, and I mean, we did a workshop around the Chinese New Year. I call it Chinese New Year because I actually studied the Feng Shui Chinese philosophy and did a master immersion program in China. So I always was more familiar with saying Chinese New Year, but you say
Lunar New Year.
Yeah.
Because people who don't live in China or aren't Chinese also celebrate this festival. Some people even call it the Spring Festival. But Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year, they're all referring to the same 2-week-long celebration. It's the end of one year and the beginning of the next year. It's the end of winter, the beginning of spring. And it goes for 15 days and ends with the Lantern Festival, which is really a beautiful celebration to experience if you ever get the chance. And this year, it's actually happening on February 17th. And it lasts for 2 weeks, and then it will end with the Lantern Festival on March 3rd. And February 16th is kind of an honorary day in there, too, because it's Lunar New Year's Eve, which is another time that we like to celebrate the beginning of this fun party time.
Yeah.
And we're moving from the year of the snake into the year of the fire horse. And there are 12 zodiac animals. We're not going to do a deep dive on that today. It takes too long. But you can easily go online, look it up. Look up the year you were born, and you can find what animal represents that year and represents you, and more information on that, and even how it relates to moving into the fire horse. So if you want to look that up, you can.
Yeah. And in case you didn't guess what this podcast is about, it's about how to prepare for the Chinese New Year or the Lunar New Year. It's a labor of love. It's something that we really wanted, our world is in such a hard place. It's something that we really wanted to do. And we actually did a longer version of this workshop, 3 years ago?
Something like that.
Yeah. And so we've kind of condensed it down to some nuts and bolts to help you get the most out of, what it is. How can you prepare? What does it mean? What are things you can do to celebrate it? So we're really excited that you're here with us. And so now that you know what the year is about and, how to find your animal, what are we saying goodbye to? And what are we welcoming in? I always really like to do this because I find that for me, I don't know if you find this, Athena, but there's something very cathartic and healing about looking back at where you've been, like what I've learned. What was the year of the wood snake? What did it look like for you? So let's first take a glance back and kind of recap that. So I always like to start with the element. So wood, all right? So you think about the element wood. It's stable. It's grounded. It's about growth and flexibility, right? And strength. I always think of it like a tree. So if you think about a tree with its beautiful roots down, right? You've got this tree that just, some are fast growing, some are slow growing. But they're flexible, right? They move in the wind. So that feeling of the groundedness, right? And it can also, the element wood can have an emanation, a destructive side, which can show up as an emanation of anger, which is really a frustration from built up blocks, energy blocks of where you aren't growing and you don't feel like you can and something's in the way. And these blocks can show up in a variety of ways: relationships, health, family dynamics, throw a rock and hit a reason, an issue. But now if we add that to the snake, so think of the snake, it's kind of slow. It's more introspective. It's intuitive. It's also about transformation, right? Because it sloughs off its skin and it's like releasing the old, right? So together, the wood snake then really symbolizes and activates these forms of personal growth, right? Helping us, the wood snake helps us refine our goals. It helps us strengthen ourselves, maybe our relationships. And it also helps us, like getting rid of all of the old stuff that no longer serves us while really highlighting that transformative growth energy.
I would add, though, that it's the gestational period of transformation. Yes. We're not out as a butterfly yet. We're in the uncomfortable part where we're squirming against the skin.
Yeah.
It's not the fun part.
Yeah. It's very intro. It's very inside. But I do find that because it was connected to the wood element this year, instead of like say water or fire, it did have a more stable feeling. It didn't feel so out of control and emotional, at least for me it didn't. And that's because of that, that element. And right now, if we take a look at like what's happening in the world, you can see the snake is still playing out, right? If we look at, we're witnessing a lot of anger and a lot of frustration, and people are just wanting peace and harmony and to move forward, but we're all feeling like blocked and powerless, and it's this, and we're having to all go deep into what's your conviction, like what do you believe in, what's happening, can we let go of to move forward? As I've been having it personally, but also as a country. So I'm curious, so as I talk about this, does anything like come up for you in your last year as the wood snake?
Relief that it's almost over. It was not the most comfortable version of transition or transformation for me personally. Yeah. And looking ahead at a year where, we'll talk about the fire horse in a second. Yeah. But the energy of being carried more than having to carry the burden inside. I'm really excited for the change. Yeah. Yeah. And did it show up in any particular areas for you or anything specific? I would say mostly in my social world. Yeah. In like a recalibrating or rethinking about how I exist in my community and society. As a mom of 3, I spend a lot of time being a mom. And so getting to spend this year kind of transforming, like, who am I in the world when I'm not in that role? It's been a lot to think about, and it's fun to grow, but it also is uncomfortable. And so this last little leg of the snake where we're finishing that growth and transformation, it will probably be continuing to be uncomfortable till the end. Yeah. But in a good way, because that's how we come forth.
Without that struggle, there really isn't the growth, unfortunately. Sorry, people. There's no secret doors.
But it's looking up. And so let's hear about the year of the fire horse.
So, and I want to talk about for me really quick, because I have also had like a year where how the wood snake has shown up for me is I've had a lot of health issues. And I know I've talked about that a lot in my podcasts, Everything and Nothing with Dane. But as a, cancer, on the other side of a cancer, I don't really like the word survivor, thriver, but I'm continually working on my health. And then I walk the El Camino, and I've had a lot of foot issues. So how I've experienced the wood snake is that it feels like the work has been, like Athena mentioned, like very deep inside and very little progress on the outside. It's like little tiny steps of like, but feeling like, why isn't this moving forward more quickly? And it's almost like the snake keeps bringing me deep inside, and like take another step, make another change with your health, go to another doctor, have another, or, learn more about patience, So that's how the wood snake has shown up for me, and also my career, which I'm not going to get into, but I see very clear ways that the wood snake has been assisting me. So before we, dive into the fire horse, I just want to invite all of you in this moment. You can turn this off for another time. Like, how did the wood snake show up for you? Like, how did it serve you? Maybe it can give you some clues and also ways that you want to move forward in the next year. And then, like, what are some overall arcing themes? Like, for me, it's with health, right? You can look for those. And then just as a side note, before we move on, I want to say, this episode is absolutely to help anyone who's interested use the tools to create a new year in the way that is most beneficial for you. But remember, you said this, the year of the snake is not over until the very last second of February 16th, right? And what I have found is each animal wants to have its heyday. It only comes around once every 12 years. So it wants its time, right? And think of it like that. We're in the last curve of the body of the snake, with the last flip of the tail is where we are. And that's a little bit why it feels more intense, I think, right now. It's usually more intense at the beginning of the new year and the end. So we're experiencing that. And so use this last magic of the snake with honor, respect, right? And take every little bit of the snake's medicine and lessons to the very end. And yes, take forward glances, right? Prepare for the new year and be aware of your path, but then come back and settle into the snake, right? I feel like too often we race forward and we just discard stuff before it's done. We're like, oh, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm ready for that next thing. And we haven't used the time to its fullest potential. So don't rob yourself. Let's go all the way to that tip of that tail. And then when that happens, hello, galloping fire horse. Here we go. Here it comes. Yeah. So let's start again with the element, right? So fire, what do you think of, Athena?
Creativity.
Yeah.
Passion,
dynamicism. I think of like inner strength. It's also very transformative. And it has also a destructive side. It can be out of control with its wildness. It can be very purification.
Yeah, cleansing or purifying.
Cleansing, which isn't always comfortable, right? And then the horse is fast-paced. I feel like what are some other adjectives that you would think of for a horse?
They are like kind animals.
Yes.
And supportive animals. Yeah. But they are fast.
Yeah. Free, strong, wild again. I think of wild horses and wildfire together, right? So the wild horse thing can be, if you think about all those things put together, right, it's going to be very fast-paced, right? It's going to be very rapid transformations, very rapid growth, fiery energy, innate passion, which you said that can be attributed to creativity. It can be very vital for fueling like all opportunities, like new opportunities. It's kind of about innovations and, all of that. So I always think of the fear like the fire, like feeding the desire and your goals. And then the horse is transporting you to them. So with this passion and this steed and this steadfastness, right? So that's kind of where we're going. And then you can apply it to different areas of your life. But one of the things, and you said this earlier, is like, so the wood snake was more about, it's kind of similar as far as like growth and transformation and coming into your own, but it's inner. And now with the fire horse, all that change and whatever we've been working on is now going to be moving into the outer world. So we can really think about that as we, plant our seeds and our goals. Like, what are those arcing, themes? And take the deep work we've done on the wood snake and create a new path and let the horse's fire energy help you get there.
And I'll say I'm not always the best at taking the time to write my goals or resolutions.
Yeah.
But I, just to start off, would say if there was ever a year to do it, this is the one. Because that fire horse has kind of double wild, out of control energy.
Yeah.
If we don't give it a direction, it will find a direction, and we might not like it. So choosing where you want to channel that is the gift of the year, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and let's talk about that. I know we were going to do that later, but this just feels like a nice segue. So how do you write your goals and intentions? What's your process?
You've asked me this before, and last time I said, quite honestly, whenever there happens to be a quiet moment when my children are not pulling on me, that is usually when I write my goals and intentions. But it's nice to do it more ceremoniously than that. Make a cup of tea.
Lovely.
Light a candle. Or even just like if you're up before the sun, like that cozy first like energy of the day is a really nice time.
If you have a fireplace.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, just, making that sweet. It's kind of like a self-care moment. That's what I think of it as, a self-care moment. And the whole point of writing the intentions or goals is, one of the premises in feng shui is wherever your attention goes, energy flows. And it's like what you were saying, Athena. It's like if you don't give that fire horse a path to run on, a direction and a way to connect to you, I mean, it could just go whoosh, chaotically like a pinball machine. Bam, 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 bam. And as we said, there's a destructive side as well as a helpful side to every element and every animal. So the more that we get clear and harness that, the more powerful it's going to be and where you want it to go. And and then writing the goals, I don't know, it's very important to keep it positive and present tense. So rather than saying, I don't want to watch TV anymore, it's like that, that's kind of like a negative. I don't want to do the thing. So change that to a positive. I find myself going for walks and filling my life with happy, productive living activities, And
I usually accidentally write mine in negative, and it's totally okay to go back. Read through and go, oh, that one. Okay, I don't drink 3 cups of coffee. Okay, I'll change that to I'm happy with just 1 cup of coffee. It gets me through the day. You can change it later. I'm not happy with just 1 cup of coffee. But that's okay too.
Well, and for some of us, I mean, quite frankly, me too, sometimes it's easier to look at what I don't want. It's not something we've been trained as humans to think about things in a positive way. It's just not. So it's okay to start with that negative aspect and then go back, And I love what you said, because I like to save my goals and read them each year and review them often, because if we just read something once, it doesn't always land either. So I keep it next to my work desk where I read it all year long. And it is interesting because I'm pretty good at this, and I still catch myself going like, oh, wow, that's kind of like putting it like it may never happen. And so I'll make that change, right? But you can also, like, now that you know what the theme of the Chinese New Year is, you can bring that in. Like I said, look for those arcs and those different things. And then sometimes it's fun to do it with a friend too. If you have that time and space and you're like, hey, let's get together and go over our goals for the new year and share that experience. Sometimes that can be really fulfilling too. All right. So let's move on. How do we prepare?
So we just talked about how to prepare. You call it the human luck, or you could think of it as like the personal, like the body, the mental or emotional.
Yeah.
Like you prepare by writing your goals. But to prepare physically, you really want to focus on your space, especially since this is a feng shui podcast.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a reason why spring cleaning comes so naturally to us. It's a natural time to let go of what's not serving so that there is the space to welcome what will serve. And so the simplest version of this would just be deep cleaning, whether it's wiping all the windows, you're gonna, you know, vacuum or sweep, mop. I would even say like you're doing a deeper version than normal. So clean the appliances, do the little, you know, dust the light bulbs, the things that we don't really get to all the time.
Wash the carpets.
Wash the carpets.
Yeah.
A big one that you always mention is like the entryway is where chi or energy comes to
Into your
us.
home.
The luck comes through the front door. So we're cleaning from the front door and out the back. We don't want to sweep the luck out. And, you know, maybe you're changing out your welcome mat to welcome that energy in and like have a fresh start kind of at the mouth of the home. Clear clutter. This is my favorite thing.
You're good at it. She's really good at
it. The hard thing though is you know, we can't always get to every drawer. I would pick some problem spots. I know mine. Mom, do you have a problem spot in your house?
Oh my gosh, it's the basement. I don't care how many times I clean it. It's just like this thing magnet.
It's a black hole.
Yes. It always goes out of control.
We have an everything room. It was a music room, and now it's a preschool storage room. And then also the kids just bring things in there and leave them. So that room is going to get a little reworking. I've got a basket by the front door. Last night we did our mail bins. So we're already kind of getting started, and that was a big deal. I did it, and my husband saw, and he said, "Oh, I should do that too." And I was like, "Yes." So if you have a partner or a family or a roommate, if you're doing things, it kind of is contagious, and they will see and go like, "Oh, that looks nice. Oh, I want that."
Yeah, it feels good.
But the most important part is when you're clearing clutter, you can't just put it in a pile or a bag by the door and leave it, which I do, or at least not over New Year's. When you're done cleaning the clutter, you do need it out of the house, out of the garage, out of your property line. I mean, take it, donate it right away. And then other things that are important for cleaning for New Year, if there are broken things, it's the time to either fix them or get rid of them. I know we want to reuse it. I know we want to save it. We're like, oh, there's a possible purpose for that. But if you don't have it done now, then now's the time to let go of it. Same with projects, and I'm so guilty of this.
Oh gosh, me too.
When I have an idea, a pile grows of things that might be useful, and I'm like, I'll get to that. That's going to be fun. But if you haven't started the beading project in this whole last year, it's time to just let it go. Or whatever that might be.
And it's actually really freeing. You know, it's funny because the new projects can come in that have new, fresh energy with the fire horse. Because sometimes their time has come and gone. The inspiration is gone.
And someone else might be so excited, put it on Buy Nothing, and maybe they're like, I've always wanted to start beading. Pay it forward.
Pay it forward.
It's your problem now. I also wanted to say water features. We forget about those, but if you have a fountain or a water feature or a pond or whatever it is, please clean it. Make sure it's working, make sure it's flowing, get that new filter on it, because water represents that like flowing energy, like coming and going, flowing in a positive way. And if it's dirty or not flowing, it's kind of like an anti-energy.
It's an anti-feng shui cure.
Anti-feng shui cure. And it's blocking.
Does the opposite.
It's like still no energy. Don't come here. So that's an important one. Or if you have like a dripping toilet, those little things matter now.
Broken door handles, things that, because that stops the opportunities coming to you. And
or
this is
the luck is dripping down the bathroom.
And out.
It all seems small, but setting this up for the first day of the new year is going to set up the luck and the energy for the whole year.
Yeah.
So that's why it matters more now than it might
later on.
Later
and
on.
Yeah. And that's why we're doing this about 3 weeks before the Chinese New Year, because we wanted to give all of you a chance to actually do some of this stuff instead of like, oh, hey, it's happening in 2 days. Good luck.
And I know we're not superheroes. We can't do everything.
Nope.
So pick the things that feel the biggest, like the biggest energy drags.
Yeah.
That's where you should focus first.
Yeah. Yeah. The places that you most want to avoid is a good key.
And then the last thing is if there's anything dead, like a dead house plant or dead flowers, those
Struggling.
anything struggling and not giving off like a thriving, positive. This is the time to maybe let those plants go or give them to someone who's more nurturing than you, or
if you're not a plant
replace
person.
the flowers.
Yeah. Well, and I just wanted to say that it's, with water fountains, I just want to go back to that really quick too, because if you have a motor also that's like, like not helping.
It sounds very peaceful.
Yeah, super relaxing. Get a new motor, It's also a good year if you want to, or not a year, but it's a good time if you have been thinking about a water fountain, go ahead and get one, and then read up about the best placement too. So
awesome.
Yeah.
But I think that's most of the ways we want to prepare our home. The last thing I'll say that feels really important is when you're actually doing the cleaning, we open the windows and the doors. It's cold, I know. You don't have to do it all day, but just for a little bit, it really lets the old last year's energy out and the new energy in. I mean, fresh air. So we don't give it enough credit.
Yeah.
And then sweeping from front to back or vacuuming from front to back.
Yeah.
And just really paying attention to detail and trying not to cut corners, because cutting corners New Year's Eve can really bleed into cutting corners the whole year. And you want it all done by the 16th.
Yeah.
You do not clean during the New Year's. You don't do the big cleaning during the New Year's festivals. That time is for being together, being with family, eating good food.
And definitely not on the 17th. Like you can do, it doesn't mean you can't clean your house for 3 weeks. It's like you can.
No, I'm telling my husband I can't clean my house for 3 weeks.
We're not going to really share that information. But yeah, and and again, I always like to bring that intention and follow your heart. Like even though you're like, if your heart's saying like, oh, I really need to clean out this drawer, this closet, and you're like, no, this is more important, follow that energy. Because sometimes we're like, oh, I need to work on my finances and we'll do a certain wealth corner, but really we need to go do helpful people instead. And I'm talking about the Bhagwan. If you don't know about this, you can look it up. I'll be talking about that in a future podcast, but really follow that. And I always like to take this time of year to think of myself as a detective. So if it's feeling like, oh, I have to do this and don't do it. Don't do it. It's like you want to, like, I look at it as like trying to look at things with new eyes and wow, I haven't seen that broken door for a while. It's like, that's really important. And so make it kind of fun. I'm always about making things fun. And there's also another saying in feng shui. It's like, feng shui is a journey. It's not a destination. You're not going to get everything done all the time. It's not meant to. It's suggestions. It's like, we do your best. Do your best is good enough. And it'll be enough. It'll be something. It'll move you forward. So, great. So let's move on. So we've talked about setting goals. I just wanted to reiterate there also that when you're doing that, do it for all the areas of your life. Think about your health. Think about your wealth. Think about your career. Think about your love relationships, your friendships. Think about your self-care. Like, really look at your life. And where is your pie thin? Like, maybe you don't have enough friend time. Maybe your career has been ignored. But look at those places where you're depriving energy, right? What can you do to open that? Because the ultimate goal is balance.
I love
balance. Not too much fun, not too much work, like, again, that yin and yang. So with that, let's talk about how to build an altar. There we are. So I think we're going to have our photographer, who, as I'm talking, is going to come up and show some things. But when you start building an altar, it's really important to build it somewhere where you can see it. I always do it on the piano in the center of my house. You can do one altar. You can do two altars. You can do three. It doesn't really matter. But I always do like a main one, which we've done here for you today. We're going to take a look at now and talk about each thing specifically. But I always like to choose a place that's safe and functional. So what I mean by that is I do use these 7-day candles, which you're looking at right now. And as we're using this can be stay lit day and night, right? So it's fire safe, but I don't want to put it next to a curtain by a window, right? Where it could blow over, or where animals, but even this, if an animal knocked it over, it would go out. It's designed to be fire safe. But let's just talk about, so what I've created here is a traditional feng shui altar. And you'll want to do, I think we're going to have our cameraman come up for this and show closely. Let's just take a quick break and we'll come back and I'll show this more specifically. All right, so let's start talking about the different things that you can put on a Chinese New Year altar. I want you to take a look here. So it's very auspicious to have bowls of fruit. You can have peaches, you can have tangerines. They're meant to be very auspicious, right? Or oranges even. I like to have them with stems, but I didn't find any this time. But this is very much, it says that, tells the universe that I'm celebrating abundance. I'm attracting abundance. The thing is that you always want to have the bowl full. And it can be big, it can be small, it could be a smaller bowl, but you don't want it to be like half empty, right? You want it to be full so it looks lush and full, right? Another thing that you can have, and also in the front entrance is a good place for this. It also has a beautiful smell in the sight. It's very auspicious, good chi. It uplifts the spirit. Another item is that you can have candies. So I put like candied ginger. You can have like flowers. I always like to put a lot of flowers on my altar. And of course, these are, for those of you who don't know, these are called gold ingots. This is what the form of money used to look back in China. I have been there and that's my practice, so I use it. But you can use gemstones, bowls of rice. You could have nuts. I always like to put a little bell on my altar. And when I will go by during the New Year, I'll just ring it every so often just to kind of call in the good luck. I also use the rice to stick incense in and light it. This year, it's the horse. So I have a horse galloping to symbolize that. The yellow is the color of the sun. You always want bright, colorful colors. I always use like a red cloth. And then I got these octagon mirrors here to kind of double the auspiciousness and the wealth. And basic, you're just creating this beautiful altar that is saying like, welcome New Year, welcome wealth, welcome health, and you just make something beautiful that can last all year long. Really, there's, you can't get this wrong. It's the intention, again, that's in your heart. And the main thing to pay attention to, though, is that in 2 weeks, sometimes this fruit or flowers can begin to rot or look sad and begin to decay. Change them out, because you don't want that dying, rotten energy.
No.
Right?
You don't.
You want it to keep it uplifted. And then, I think that's it. You have anything to add to that?
I'll say that this will look different to everyone. I know in a little bit, Mom is going to show a different version because it should make you feel abundant and happy. This is a very traditional Chinese version of this altar, and everyone should make the version that makes them feel excited for a new beginning, empowered. Using reds and oranges and yellowy fire colors are traditional, and there are ways to do that in a more modern Western way too.
Yes, absolutely. And with all faiths. So you can bring in whatever your faith is that you choose. It doesn't have to be the Chinese philosophy. It can be, Christian. It can be Muslim. I mean, it's not about a religion. It's about celebrating a new year and a new life. And you can create that however you want. And like I said, in a minute, we're going to take you and show you another version of a New Year altar.
And one last thing on the altar I'd say is, as a mom, it's actually a very fun thing to do with your children. They enjoy it. Letting them put the oranges out and say, we're decorating for Lunar New Year. What do you guys think we should add? Where do you think the coins should go? It's fun for kids too.
Yeah.
So let's take a break and show the other altar.
Yeah, let's take a break, show the other altar. And here's an example I wanted to show you guys of a non-traditional New Year or Lunar New Year altar. So as you can see, I used, a different kind of a cloth. I brought in fresh flowers. I used the Mother Mary, a different, more Western, symbol of the horse, and 2 Asian prayers and a selenite, some lavender in the back with a candle. So it can be also very small. And I wanted to show you this so you can show how you can tailor fit it to your heart and your loves and your personality and your soul. Because if you're doing something on a grander scale with all the Chinese element, and it's not really your jam, maybe you're not going to get as much joy out of it. So key, joy, intention, just let it align with who you are. And again, you can't get it wrong. It's about the intention. Hello, we're back. We were doing a little celebration song because that's where we're headed. But first,
we're going to talk about the do's. The last couple things we should do to get ready and prepared. A big one is pay off your debts if you can, or as much as you can. And this can include, like, if there's a favor or something you said you'd do to help a neighbor, that can include that. Like, oh, I said I'd take the thing over to Mike's house or whatever. Now is a good time. Just get that done. It'll feel clearer going into the new year without that weighing on you or them.
Yeah.
Another fun one is giving red envelopes of crisp cash to especially children or unmarried family members, friends. It can be new bills preferred, but it could be ones. It could be 20s. It just depends on how much you like the person. No, I'm just kidding. But this year is the year of the horse. So you could find red envelopes specifically with the year of the horse. They also have generic ones for every year.
Any Asian store has these, or you can look them up online.
Yep, that's
to
true.
Buy.
And it's kind of like the cup overflowing, like you're giving generously to show, like, I have enough. Abundance is in my life. It's coming back. It, like, when we overflow and share, it comes back twice fold, triple fold. Visit friends and family as much as you can over the 2 weeks. Visit for dinner, eat lucky foods with them, or bring them flowers or goodies. But yeah, just it's a social time. So this is a moment to share. There are many moments because it's 2 weeks long. But fresh flowers, keep them on your altar, but maybe other places as well. Keep them around the house. Any place where you're going to want that reminder of, like, life is lush and full. And they just smell good.
And you can give them as gifts, too.
Yes.
Fun. Give flower gifts.
Yeah, buy one for you and one for them. Yeah. Eat lucky foods. I already kind of mentioned when you're visiting with family. We especially like to do it Lunar New Year's Eve is like the big, we get together and eat lucky Chinese foods. But noodles for long life, dumplings for luck, There's a long list of foods that are considered lucky, so you have lots of options to choose from. And sweet treats for like savoring the good stuff, but it's a time to indulge.
Yeah.
And keep it positive. So find the joy. We're setting the tone for the whole year. It's just like when you're writing your goals, like try and find the positive spin, try and see the potential in things. And even starting before the celebration, when you're cleaning, like, you know, you don't want to do a project, but look at it and go like, oh, what could that be? If I cleared that out, like, what could that be? So we're finding the positive in the things that aren't always easy to find the positive in. And last but not least, everything that's considered work, we're going to try and wrap up by New Year's Eve, the 16th. And then the 17th especially is supposed to be a rest day. And that's a day of being together, enjoying, being in joy, eating those good foods. Let it be a rest day. And then if you need to sweep up afterwards the next day, that's fine. But that first day especially should be a day of being present.
Yeah. And I know that's not possible for everyone. So even if you can't take that day off or be with friends, just hold that intention in your heart. Because I know that day I have some things that I really need to do, but I already decided that, you know, I'm just going to take that in my heart and still be slow and gentle and move in the world in a way that feels like the intention of how I want the year. It's kind of like it's setting the tone for your year. So whatever you're doing, bring that idea. You know, today I'm going to behave. I'm going to act. I'm going to move in ways that reflect how I want my year to be. And that's really what it's about.
I love that because life happens. It doesn't stop just for Lunar New Year.
Yeah.
But we can still, and you can plan. Like, I can't take work off, but you can plan, like, but I'm really going to be present and celebrating tonight when I get home.
Yep, exactly. So it's meant to be fun. So then lastly, let's just talk about, like, celebrating, you know, because that's the end. Here we are. We're going to celebrate on the eve. And like I said, I've done it big. I've done it small. Some years I have had no energy except to do a small altar and just be like, woohoo. That's okay. Not every year is a big year. We usually hang up, you know, because I said, again, I have studied this tradition. You know, our house kind of has looked like a Chinese museum. I mean, we put up the red lanterns and we put up the Chinese characters that say, you know, happiness and good luck. And I have this beautiful paper dragon that I bought that I hang in the front of our entryway. And we've had big parties where people come and we run the dragon when it's 12 o'clock. I mean, we're banging pans and firecrackers are going off and we're eating lucky food. And
it's a similar vibe to Western New Year's Day.
It's a party,
New Year's Eve.
Yeah. So whatever way you want. And, you know, we're not going to go into, you know, and wearing bright colors, you know, so it's a time to dress up and just be really colorful. And again, I always think of it like, like setting the tone for the year.
Bringing in that vibrancy that you want for the whole year of the fire horse.
No matter how big or small it is. And again, this is the kind of thing where you could definitely set up your altar and then you light your candles for the first time on your altar, you know, kind of activate the altars, as I say. And you can have a couple of friends over. We always like to do Chinese dinner together, you know, somewhere and have all the lucky foods or at our house. So,
and it's so fun for kids love it too. They love to make noise with the noise makers. They like that to last the whole 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And longer. But getting together can make it fun. You can also celebrate by yourself with your cat, you know. It's okay. Exactly. You can do it any way that feels inspiring to you.
And we just invite you, because we're going to be moving into something else here in a second, but anything we've talked about, you know, there's so many books, there's so much information out there. You can really research anything deeper that you want, we invite you to if you feel called. It can be very complex. You can take it as far as you want to go. But our desire is just to really get you set up to do something to move forward in a positive way. And I think we're going to take a little break right now. And when we come back, the very last part of our podcast is going to be a New Year visualization. So we want to help everyone get connected and set up with the fire horse in a positive way. And we're going to be back. So if you are watching this, you can take a pause. You can come back and do it right away. You can do it another day and time. It'll always be here. So see you in a second. Bye. Finish up the last part of this Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year preparation. And one of the parts that I always like to add is a visualization, a guided meditation. I find that to help align with the new animal that's coming in so that we can kind of really maybe get some deeper wisdom. So for those of you who maybe aren't familiar with guided meditations and this is your first, welcome. It isn't about controlling you or making you do anything. You can opt out at any moment. You just open your eyes. There's nothing woo-woo about it. It is just basically breath work and using our imagination to tap into our deeper wisdom. Oftentimes, we're so used to dealing up here with our consciousness and our thoughts and our stories and our beliefs that it's hard to tap in to that place where we have deeper wells of knowing. And that's what a visualization that I'm going to be doing today is to help us align and come into like a cohesive, agreement, relationship with the fire horse and see if there's any personal messages that want to come through. So I always start with breath work, and I'm going to you just follow along with my words using your imagination, your visualization, and try to let it happen. So if I'm saying a color or something and you're seeing something different, go with it. If I'm saying tree and you see a brook, go with it. Just because you're the captain of your ship, so to speak. This is your body, this is your psyche, this is your being. So you are king and queen here. So you go with that. I'm suggesting and guiding. That's it. And again, at any moment you feel uncomfortable, open your eyes. It's no big deal. And the other last thing that I want to say is that sometimes people are getting frustrated or anxiety ridden, like, oh, I'm not seeing that, or I'm not hearing that, or I can't do that. Doesn't matter. You can't get it wrong, because it's really about just if some people are visual, some people aren't. Some are auditory, some aren't. So if you're hearing things, go with that. If you're smelling things, go with that. If you're seeing things, go with that. If you're seeing nothing, doesn't matter. Just be willing to just be on the journey, because you're going to be getting something, whether you see a bunch of stuff or get a message or you don't. And the cool thing is that because we're recording this, you can come and try again and again and again. So you can do it as many times as you want. Is there anything that you want to add? Okay. All right. So let's get started. We are going to have our eyes closed, and I suggest you do the same. So before you do this segment, I would, pick a point in time where you actually have time to do this. Go to a quiet room. Again, you can set up a space with a candle and tea, up to you. But make sure you have a quiet space. Otherwise, it'll be harder to get into the groove of it, so to speak, because you'll be interrupted. Okay? So we'll see you on the other side. Here we go. So gently, everyone all together, take an in breath in and out through your nose. And I want to invite you to begin to just feel your body. So make sure you're in a comfortable chair. Your feet are all where they want to be. I invite you to have them grounded on the floor. Your back can be supported. I want you to relax into what you're sitting into. And then with your next inhale in your nose and release through your mouth, just let your body begin to melt like butter. So think of it as butter just melting, giving way to the chair or the couch. And begin to notice the sounds in the room. And with the sounds, you're bringing yourself fully present in this moment. So whatever was happening before this moment, we're just going to imagine them like red balloons, just releasing them and letting yourself just naturally breathe in its own rhythm. And then coming back to the room, feeling this moment, present, listening. And then anything that's going to happen in your day or tomorrow, let that go. So let that go and think of them as blue balloons, just letting them all go. Breathing naturally and coming fully present again to the here and now by noticing your body and the sounds. Yeah. And then we're going to imagine that there's this beautiful orange gold ball of light in front of you. It's like a sun, and it's spinning, and it's full of energy. It's like the fire. It's warm, it's passionate, it's alive. And when I count to 3, we're going to bring it into our abdomen. So it's going to cover our stomach and our womb or our sexual organs and our pelvic floor. And we're going to just bring that beautiful swirling light now into our body on 3, 2, 1. Just bring it in and let it just swirl and feel that warmth. And imagine that bright color going down the backs of your legs, across the bottom of your feet, and on the balls of your feet, which in some circles is called the bubbling brook point or the Earth Star chakra. And we're going to imagine that a cord grows between the 2 feet. And it's going to go straight down now through the floor, wherever you are sitting, through the layers of dirt and rock and minerals. And imagine it's going to go to the center of the earth. And in the center of the earth, there's this fiery, hot, molten lava. And it's going to grow right into that. And imagine your cord having these beautiful roots, big and little, just rooting into that. And also rooting into this beautiful tree system on the way. And feel that groundedness, feel that and the core of earth, how solid you feel, how solid you are. And you're always safe and protected here. And then imagine bouncing on a trampoline and you suddenly just bounce right back up that cord, just all the way back to your feet, all the way back up your legs, all the way to your pelvic floor. And it's just like suctions up on your pelvic floor. And imagine that your pelvic floor and your 2 feet are like wine corks. And you're going to pop them out. You're going to pull them out on 3, 2, 1, just pop. And then all the energy that's no longer serving you, maybe it's energy of the wood snake, it's just going to drain down like gray smoke. And instead, this beautiful orange energy is now coming up into your body. And imagine your spinal cord, right? So we're going to tap through the chakras, and there's 7 of them. And if you don't know what these are, you can look them up later. But we're going to go through the first chakra, which is the tailbone. The second chakra, which is where our sexual organs are. The third chakra, which is where our dantian is, our belly button. Just feel that energy coming up, moving up the spine to our heart, moving up into our throat, the fifth, moving down our shoulders and out our fingertips, this gold and orange energy. Moving it right back up into our third eye, coming between our eyebrows, opening up our mind, our spiritual scene. And then it's going to come right out to the top of our head. So it's going to, right? And I want you to imagine that it's going to kind of radiate around like a torus, Torus. So it's like a donut, right, of energy that's going all the way down around our body and back up through our feet. And it's going to circulate like this with this orange energy. And this is the earth luck. And it's just circulating and circulating. And it's reawakening our cells and our body. It's helping us remember who we truly are. And now we're going to take our attention and we're going to bring it to our belly button. And I want you to imagine, this is all going to be imaginary. We're going to go into our belly button. And imagine that there's like a wormhole. And we're going to travel through it, through the galaxy. We're going fast, as light and speed, just all the way through. And at the end, we can see this beautiful white hot light. And we're going to shoot ourselves right into that. And this is source energy. This is where creation begins and ends. It's like limitless potential. This is heaven energy. This is the divine energy. This is the energy of the universe, of God and the creation. And we're just going to go right into that white hot energy. And then we instantly fill up and we shoot right back out, right along like a slingshot, faster than light and sound. And it's going to hit our body just, and it's going to split in two directions, and it's going to go up our spine and down our spine at the same time. And it's going to add to that torus donut shape of energy, just so energy is going in both directions. We've got now the earth energy and we've got the heaven energy. And just feel that expansiveness, that opening, that groundedness of the earth, the safety and protection, and that expansiveness of like endless potential, and let that just kind of radiate in your being. Yeah. And now that we're all safe and we're buttoned up and we're in this creative space, and just let your heart like kind of start to open. And again, if you can't feel it, you can't see it, I am willing to let this come into my life, into my being, into my soul. And then we're going to imagine now, with all this beautiful light around us, that suddenly there's kind of like a door in front of you. And I want you to just see the shape. What's the size? What's the color? What's the material it's made out of? And again, if you can imagine, you're going to just move through in time and space. Look at the handle. And this is the future. This is the fire horse year that we're going to be entering into. Appreciate this door. Appreciate this. Looking back at the wood snake. Look behind you. Thank you, wood snake. And although I know we're not done with you, we're going to put you away for a little bit and we'll come back. But just set the wood snake aside in like a safe little bed or a box or a cave or someplace it feels safe, and just put it aside for a moment and thank it for all that it's taught you in this last year. And we'll be back. And then look at your door. And then when you're ready, we're going to count to 3 and we're going to open this door. 1, 2, 3. Open it and just imagine this light shining on you. And as you cross the threshold in front of you, there's this beautiful river, this stream. It's not too fast, it's not too slow, and beyond it is a meadow, a huge, vast meadow with large mountains off in the distance. And the meadow is alive, and there's forest all around on the sides, and it could be as big or as tall or as small as you want it to be. And feel the expansive as you look at this nature scene. Feel the expansiveness of your heart just open, just shoo. As you're like opening, like almost like a marathon runner who crosses the line in victory, just whoo. And off in the distance, you see this fast approaching small speck. It's moving, it's bouncing, it's bouncing, it's bouncing. It's coming closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. And you can begin to see that it's a fire horse. It's galloping full steed. What color is it? How big is it? And it's coming to you. It's coming right at you. And it gets larger and larger. And when it gets closer to the stream, it stops. And the stream is a protection. It's a chance to have a smooth, gentle boundary to meet the fire horse in a way that is safe for you both. And look into the eye and honor this fire horse. I see you. Do you see me? And listen to the response. Dear fire horse, I welcome you. Allow yourself to begin to connect with its breath, its size, its energy. Begin to feel that. And ask before the horse comes to you, because we never approach the animals. We always let animals come to us. That's the respectful, honoring way. So before we are making that connection, we're just letting the energy begin to align. What is it you want to say to the fire horse? And do so now. Take a moment how you want to greet your fire horse for the year. Take a second. And tell it what your heart's desire is. Not what your mind thinks, but what's in your heart. And then ask the horse, your fire horse, if there's any wisdom messages for you for this coming year. Allow yourself to breathe and soften and receive. And when you're ready and your message is complete, invite the horse to meet you where you are. Or maybe he invites you over to him. And when you are together, allow your foreheads to meet and feel the cohesion of the fire come into your body. Allow the alignment of the horse come into your heart. And if there are any fears that are coming up, it seems too big, too powerful, too strong, too visible, ask yourself, how can I adjust? How can we adjust ourselves to each other to where I feel safe and feel like we are in alignment? And then do that. And know that maybe this adjustment to the wild horse, maybe it's a bigger, stronger animal than you're used to, and it might take months. It might take years. but the willingness. Help me align and be the fire horse this year. And when you're to a place, if you feel ready and you feel able and you feel willing and it's the right time, imagine the horse inviting you to leap upon its back in some way. Whether it's instantaneously or through a rock. And once you're on, lay fully on its heart to heart. Feel the passion. Invite it into your cells. Feel the dynamism. Feel the boldness. Feel the transformation. Feel that freedom that wants to come, that is you, that is the horse, that is here, that can take you wherever you need to go. And think of your heart's desire. And then when you're ready, just run. Just let it go. And maybe it's a smaller gallop. Maybe you just want to walk with the horse. But what is your divine wisdom showing you? Where does the fire horse want to take you? And again, let the messages come. And at any moment, if the fear arises, ask the fear what it wants you to learn. Why are you here? What is my purpose? How can I serve my heart, my family, my community? Is this a year of fierceness or more softness? And as you're running or walking or being, whatever your journey is, begin to feel the completion of this time together. If you need to turn around and come back to the river, if you're going to be dropped off at a whole new place, honor that, welcome that. And then as you're completing, leave your last words of gratitude. If there are any final things that need to be said from your fire horse to you, from you to your fire horse, let those happen now. And tell the fire horse that you will be back. You will find each other once again on February 17th. And asking to be gentle with us, with you in your journey, to help you forge that path with clarity and discernment and boldness and the perfect amount of action at the right time, knowing that you both can come back and have this experience or new ones with each other any time you want. And then allowing wherever you are in your journey to find your stream or find your doorway. And as you glance behind you, you see the fire horse running again off into the distance, joyful, excited. Can't wait to be joined with you. Now that you are aligned, you are complete cohesiveness, you are completely connected in all ways, on all levels, on all planes of existence and time dimensions, and that you have important, beautiful work and play and life to live together in this new year. And feel your heart just open a little bit more as you cross that threshold and bring all of that energy and information back with you to this moment, and gently begin to drop back into your body and noticing your breath again. Noticing the sounds of the room before you even open your eyes, and feel your hands, maybe move your feet, maybe move a little bit in the chair. And I always like to start by looking down at my own body and very gently open my eyes just a little bit to let some light in. And let yourself adjust to that. And then open them a little bit more. Good. And then just fully come present. And let's all take a big breath together. So just, and exhale. Just coming fully present back into this moment. And hi, welcome back. I hope that was a good experience for you, regardless of how and where your fire hose took you. Can you I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you feel like, did anything come up that you feel like sharing in that experience for you?
One message was to be brave, and that actually is something I associate with the fire horse in general. It reminds me of like knight in like shining armor, like that energy of like the courage, like the like quick, like the quick action to go into battle or fight for what you believe in or love, or I don't know, just like that strength and fearlessness. And so when the horse told me that, I was like, yeah, okay, that I feel that it makes sense.
Yeah, that's interesting, because one of the simple ways to harness the horse's energy is to embrace boldness. It is one of the forecasts, and take calculated risks.
Oh.
So I think that's interesting, just really like chasing those ambitions, like having that, power. For me, doing the meditation is always harder to get messages. But what I thought was interesting is my fire horse was black.
Oh.
And very large. I mean, a really large horse. And it really demanded respect. Like, it's like you, like, pay attention and be careful of what you require of me. Because I am big. And so make sure that you're really being respectful and mindful of what you're calling on me to do, because it has a very big potential. And
be
that's
careful what you're wishing for or working towards.
So the message was, and that's why I was like at the end bringing in that gentleness and that calmness, like you have the ability to set parameters on how you work with these things. It doesn't have to be just all balls out and out of control. It's like you can say like, I'm going to, I'm going to temper this with gentle and kindness, and even though it's going to be super fast paced, I want to do it in a way that is healthy for me,
Totally.
So and then I think the other thing that came up for me also was there was this feeling of like, I kept feeling like coming up against a block of like, well, I don't know how to do that, or like doubts. I had a lot of doubts coming up. Like the horse is like, let's do this. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I don't know if I can do that, or how are we going to do that? And the message to me was like move past the fear, Like keep releasing. Like when you start, for me, I'm saying me, when I have that feeling of like, what's that obstacle that's coming up, or that resistance of like, how am I going to do that? Or what's that going to look like, to move out of that and be like, you know what? I don't have to know that. I just have to get on my horse and ride, and kind of shut down that mental part.
Yeah, be
that
brave.
Wants to, yeah, like, anyway, so that came up. Yeah, so I think that wraps it up. I really hope, I mean, all of you, you know, had a good experience. That's our wish. This is kind of a love letter from us to all of you. Again, if questions come up, arises, you can always look at, you know, call a friend. You know, you can do this with a friend and then share your experiences with, and trust yourself. Whatever came up, trust it. Really trust it. And yeah, and like I said, you can come back and do it again and again and again. And we can like all just right now together call out our wood snake again. Kind of, we said a little temporary goodbye to the fire horse. We can call our wood snake back in right now. But is there anything you want to say in closing? We wrap this up?
It's just that I hope everyone's feeling inspired and empowered to move forward into the next year.
Yeah. And this has been fun.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom. Thanks for having me on.
I know. I really enjoyed it. It's funner to do things with somebody else.
It's a good thing we like each other.
I know, we do. I love her so much. Anyway, thank you for joining us on Got Shui. There will be more coming in March. Like I said, I'm going through a huge job transformation. I'm planning on doing regular podcasts. So sign up for YouTube, subscribe. And I will also have my email below, so that if you'd like to be on a newsletter, I'm still working out websites, you can leave that there, and I'll add you to a list where I will send things to you as they come out. So grateful.
Very grateful.
So grateful. And we just 10,000 prosperous blessings to you all in this fiery horse.
And Happy New Year.
Happy Lunar New Year. Get your party on, people. However that is. All right. Big love. Blessings. See you later.